Welcome back to another video. And today, Stephen and I are going to be talking about VMware, Broadcom, the acquisition, and a lot of the changes that we're going to see in that space. And honorable mention to these handy dandy microphone stands that we got. No more mini mics, guys. I personally liked them, but that's okay. They'll make a comeback someday. But Stephen, let's jump in. What happened with VMware and Broadcom, and why is this something that we're talking about right now?
So VMware was acquired by Broadcom, and Broadcom just has a different strategy for how to handle the business than VMware had internally originally. And what they've decided to do is to try and move their customer base up market. Right now they have well over 100,000 commercial customers, and they are looking to focus on the top about 618, I believe, was the number that they put out. And the interesting thing about that 618 out of over 100,000 customers is that they generate 74% of their annual recurring revenue.
Well, and to that same point, Broadcom actually released a graphic, which we'll put in right here for you guys to see, actually really showcasing a lot of this information.
Exactly. And, the important note is that those 618 customers all pay over $1 million in annual recurring revenue on their contracts with VMware. So most credit unions, not all of them, but most credit unions are going to fall below that threshold, which means the impact we're going to feel amongst that set of customers is probably not going to be positive in nature.
And I mean, talk about that from a pricing perspective. If a credit union is a Broadcom customer, should they expect changes in pricing? What are we thinking about there?
Yeah, we've seen kind of an array of increased prices to that set of customers. It really depends on what you leverage in your VMware stack, and the number of basically CPU cores that you have. But it varies. We've seen, I believe, as high as 4 times price or even 5 times price for some people. Whereas, to be honest, we've had a couple customers where it's on par with what it used to be. So it's going to be a case-by-case basis. But I would say that for the most part, we're going to see an increase in expense.
Okay, so credit unions, you can expect to probably see an increased price there. Let's talk about the support, though. I mean, if they're still using this product, what kind of service can they expect? Is it still being supported? Are there going to be any changes there?
Definitely going to be changes. If you read the news, there's been layoffs and moves and changes as they navigate this acquisition, which is normal for an acquisition. And I don't think it's been going on long enough for us to see long-term what that support looks like. My hope would be that customers continue to enjoy good support from VMware through Broadcom. But time will tell what we're going to experience there.
Beyond, pricing, we've talked pricing, service. I think there are some major licensing changes as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what that looks like?
Yeah, the most advantageous pricing model usually for credit unions up until now has been a perpetual license model with VMware, where you would purchase a certain version of their product and basically own the license forever. Now they've moved to a completely recurring revenue model where you have to re-up every year. So it's an ongoing expense. Again, this isn't abnormal for our industry. Most software companies are moving to a recurring revenue model so they can continue to maintain and grow their software packages. But from an expense perspective, it's a change that we need to become accustomed to.
And we've addressed pretty much the major points here. And just to let you guys know, this is what we know right now. A lot of this stuff, I think, the fear and the uncertainty that we're hearing about it is because there isn't a ton of information out there. And we're trying to share with you guys as much as we do know. But just kind of a little caveat here is that a lot of this stuff can still change.
Definitely. And I think it's important to consider what we can do to help you.
Yeah.
And what Pure IT can do to help is to help you understand first what you have, what your renewal expense might be with VMware, and the options that you have if you decide that you need to migrate away from them as a product. Sometimes we might go through that assessment and find out that it's actually smartest for you to stay with them, even though you might incur an increased expense, that the expense of migration might be more. That's the truth. Other times, we'll find that migration to a cloud provider like Azure or even an alternative on-premise type solution might be the most cost advantageous solution for you, or a hybrid where we have parts of your infrastructure in the cloud and parts left on premise. But that would be the fruit of an assessment, and then a little bit of an architecture journey to come to the most intelligent solution there.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Stephen, for sharing your wisdom with us today. Any final parting words before we jump off?
No, I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And we hope to bring you more content like this. If you have any questions about the VMware Broadcom acquisition, leave them for us in the comments below. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.